Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? My name is Fumidesaluvold. For those of you that are stopping by for the very first time, you guys are so very welcome indeed. Well, we have an interview from Shanquella's father. I think he's the first family member to speak out after this very unexpected verdict that we got from the FBI last week. A verdict that I am still trying to process, that I'm still trying to... It's a bitter pill to swallow. It's a bitter pill to swallow. And the second I heard it, the second I read it, because it was all over social media, Fumi Nation, I live for you, I love you. You guys sent me this video of Shanquella's father talking after the verdict, and I really jumped because we hadn't, seen him in a while. And remember, I had said, you can imagine how he must be feeling. And this was before the FBI said that they were not going to make any arrests. How much more now? So I really just wanted to, hear from him, because this is a nightmare for any parent. I cannot imagine. And I listened to it. And it was so... There were so many things that he said that I would say to Adrian. As a parent, you never stop worrying. You never stop asking questions. Who are you going with to Mexico? Who are these people? He talked how Shanquella's friend, I've forgotten his name. Is it Khalil? Is it Wiggins? I've forgotten. But the best friend anyway. How himself and Shanquella's mother missed it. Because never in a million years. It was sad. When you watch it, you just can't be hands off. You go back to the drawing board and you say, what did we miss? What did we miss? Her neck wasn't broken. Her spine was intact. We don't know when this fight happened, but it's the betrayal. It's the betrayal of a so-called friend. That you thought this was your daughter's friend. He sat and ate with you in your home. He went on vacations with you. And for sure, bottom line, he sat there while she was savagely beating. That is fact. If you're not guilty of anything else, for sure you're guilty of that. It was sad. It was just sad. And I think, it brings tears inside of you because where do we go from here? What do we do now? What did we miss? How can they walk free? How can they live amongst us free? But a fight is a fight. A beat-up is a beat-up. How do you say they jumped her? I don't know how that translates to beating somebody up savagely, but I've heard it. Yeah, she was jumped. She wasn't jumped. Well, yeah, she was. I guess that's the terminology for me. She was beaten up. So, some of you said, would I continue talking about or reporting about Shanquella Robinson? I said yes. Yeah. This is not the end. It's not the end. We just have to believe, have like a blind faith, and believe some way, somehow, something will come into play. This God that we pray to, we just have to have the faith. Sometimes we don't understand why things happen the way that they do, but he does. And we just have to be patient. And so here we are. I'll put it for you. It will be a voiceover, and you can listen to the entire interview. I think it's about 10 minutes or so. And yeah, it is what it is. Let's continue to keep the Shanquella Robinson family up, lift them up in prayer, support them. This is a nightmare for them. This is a nightmare for every parent who has lost a child. This is a nightmare, and they need support. So keep them up in prayer, and I will see you sooner than later. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, to hit the notification button. Continue with all of the DMs. I'm trying to catch up. I read all of the Shanquella Robinson cases first. And I can now open up a little bit and say, if there are other cases that you believe that need a platform, need a voice, send them. Send them to me. Okay? Like I said, having the first meet and greet with you guys, things have changed. There's a shift. And I have a different kind of purpose. And that will be added to the fashion, the beauty, the fitness, the lifestyle, the branding. You know, we will talk about very, very serious stuff, because we have to keep it up there and give it a voice. In my wildest dreams, I never, ever, 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 ever thought that this Shanquella Robinson case would have this kind of turn. I don't say it's ended, but this turn, it feels like a movie. Am I wrong to say that? It feels like a movie. It feels like a cliffhanger. It feels so unbelievable. What is it we don't know? We think we know everything, but we don't. It's proving that now. All my love, and I will see you very soon. Don't forget, stay on and listen to what Shanquella's father had to say. God bless him.
It's just sort of a little emotion standing here talking about this. It's on back order, but a marker came, so I brought you all out here today to let y'all know that, you know, her mark is down now, you know. I can come, me and my mother, my family, I can come up here and talk to her. I know where she at. Because at first, I didn't know where, I didn't even know she was over there. I talked to her that Wednesday before she passed, transitioned over. I get a phone call from my mother saying that she transitioned over in Mexico. Then I get a phone call. The only thing I know, she talked to Cleo Cook, supposed to be her best friend, 2 times. It's just sort of a little emotion standing here talking about this. It's on back order, but a marker came, so I brought you all out here today to let y'all know that, you know, her mark is down now, you know. I can come, me and my mother, my family, I can come up here and talk to her. I know where she at. Because at first, I didn't know where, I didn't even know she was over there. I talked to her that Wednesday before she passed, transitioned over. I get a phone call from my mother saying that she transitioned over in Mexico. Then I get a phone call. The only thing I know, she talked to Cleo Cook, supposed to be her best friend, 2 times on the phone. I ain't know nothing about that. You know, I just felt as a father that the way I love her, the way I raised her, that I should have had an opportunity to give her that father advice or my opinion about going over there, in which I didn't. And I know for a fact, from the bottom of my heart, we all might not even be standing out here if I had that opportunity to speak to her, even though she's 25 years old. She grown, but still at the same time, I'm her protector until she get a husband. When she get a husband, then he become a protector. But as this father standing right here, I feel like I should have been her protector, and I was denied that.
What would you have said?
I would have asked her who she going with. How well do you know these folks? Then I would have came back and said, well, who their parents are. Well, before you go, let me meet these parents. Let me meet these folks. You know, I always been like that ever since she started beginning having a lot of friends. You know, as a father, you know, not trying to be in her business. It's just the point of making sure she okay and the folks that are around her, who she keeping company with. Because everybody can say you your friend, but they're really not. It all depends on what you got and how you carry yourself. And she carried herself very well, because that's how I taught her, you know. The respect, morals.
Had you met these friends?
No, I never met her. Didn't know nothing about her. You know, only thing I know, her mother said they went to school with her, and she's gonna tell me, you know, told me, well, you don't know them. So I said, do you know them? She said, I know of them, but I'm seeing in the interview, you know, you told your lawyer, Sue Robinson, that you just know one of them. That was Khalil Cook. So that tells me right there, we both was in the blind, as a mother and a father. We both in the blind. We both didn't even know these folks, you know. So.
Can we start last week, or about more than a week ago? I'm sure you heard the information, got the information that there will be no prosecution by the United States Attorney's Office.
Well, yeah, but the case is still open though. So God is still moving. My faith is so strong as a mustard seed that He will prevail. You know.
And what does that look like to you?
Patient, like I always been. Just like y'all standing out here, I was patient while y'all set up and everything. I always been patient.
But I mean, what does that look like as far as, you said you're still hopeful for what?
Justice will be served. Justice will be served. It's going to be served. It's going to be served.
And so what does that justice look like?
This just going to look like they're going to get what they deserve to get to them. You just don't take a life. They brutally beat her. She didn't agree to fight whatsoever. She did not agree. That's not her. You know, she did not agree to fight. You know, she was going over there, enjoy somebody's birthday, one of the she graduated with. That's what she thought she was going to do, and then enjoy it, take photos, you know, put them on her phone, and come back and enjoy it, and, you know, talk about it to her other friends, you know. Then the main thing, you know, she got the little kids, the little girls and boys that she plait hair, braid their hair. Now they wonder where Shanquella is. Because Shanquella didn't got adapted to her customers, her clients, you know, the mothers, the fathers, how well she doing their daughters and sons braiding their hair, and they proud of Shanquella doing their hair, and how they, you know, she got them looking, you know, stealing something in them that they can become this, they can become that. They might, one of the little girls might want to follow her footsteps. But right now, that crushed from them 6. And then the mother and the parents, the mother and the father's old parents, or those 6 individuals, don't have no decency to call up, interview one of you all on the news and say, Mr. Robinson, or the Robinson family, we sorry about the loss of your daughter. Whatsoever. Their life is still moving around, you know, walking around here like they enjoy life. But this father right here struggling each and every day, you know. I cry. every day. It's a struggle for me. Struggle.
Have you had any contact with those 6 or their families at all since?
No, not whatsoever.
Have you attempted to or wanted to reach out? Wanted to know why?
Now, ain't no need of me reaching out. You know, I'll let God do what he got to do. But I tell you this, they're not going to get away. They're not going to get away.
What is your message to them if they are watching?
My message to them, you know, why can't y'all just go ahead and tell the truth? Why y'all up and left her like that? Because if you would have stayed, this father right here would have made sure y'all got back to the United States whatsoever. Any of her friends that she grew up with, they would tell you that her dad took care of them when they was with Shanquella just like they was mine from day one. And I'm still the same father that I raised her, that I am is today, and she gone, you know.
Mr. Robinson, there is a discrepancy, well, I guess discrepancy is the best word, between Mexican authorities saying, you know, this was what they call femicide, and they have a warrant for one of the people that was on that trip with Shanquella. However, the United States attorney is disputing the autopsy that they did on Shanquella. Does that concern you?
I'm frustrated about it. To the utmost, I'm frustrated. I just can't understand why, you know, the autopsy that I got back saying that her neck and spinal cord was broke, because when I talked to the young lady, Miss Elizabeth, who over there, I asked her before she even sent her body back to me, you know. I asked her, I said, Miss Elizabeth, well, you know, how my daughter died? She said, Mr. Robinson, your daughter's neck and spinal cord was broke. I said, you kidding? I just started crying.
Because they're saying that the Mecklenburg County medical examiner is saying that they didn't even make visual confirmation of that.
Well, I can't understand that. I don't know who the medical examiner who did her autopsy on her body, but I would like to know how many years experience that he have in doing an autopsy on her body, or, you know, where did he get his degree from? You know, because
obviously it's frustrating.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. Very frustrating, because this lady Elizabeth, that's what she do. When people die over in Mexico, she get the body, do the paperwork and everything.
And when's the last time you had communication? Like, how often is the communication with the authorities down in Mexico?
Not so often. You know, she'll send me a text message, you know, how I'm doing and everything, but the case, everybody still is pulling for Shanquella's justice down there in Mexico, Cabo. I mean, you know, the Contier is saying that Shanquella didn't fit well in. My main objective is this: if nothing didn't happen, why they just up and left? You came that Friday. You supposed to stay about a couple of days, but you're gonna just up and leave that next day and get back on the plane and come back over here like it wasn't nothing. You're gonna just leave her over there? That don't even sound right. Friends just don't do that. Friends don't do that.
Is the plan still to rally in D.C. in May?
Well, I'm hearing from the information that I get from the news and people texting me. So they keep me out of it. They don't tell me, you know.
Can I get you to talk? You mentioned the GoFundMe page a little bit earlier when you first started out talking.
Yes.
Do you want to? It sounded like you don't really have. You said you don't want to be involved with the GoFundMe page.
I never did want to be involved in the GoFundMe from day one, because there wasn't nobody arrested. I just want justice. Now the GoFundMe page, it's sitting there. I mean, I guess they're using for the best ability of our daughter case, but still at the same time, this father right here, I'm gonna let God do the work, because it's gonna get done. God said you trust in Him, He ain't gonna fail you and He ain't gonna forsake you. And so that's how I'm gonna stand, y'all. I'm gonna continue to stand. I'm gonna continue to stand on my faith. I'm gonna continue to stand on my faith from day one since she left me, you know.